The champ is here.
We will definitely not shut up and dribble.
The champ is here. I must be the greatest. The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man.
MH.
He is the DB of the show, and we are Black in Sports, giving a voice to the culture that won't shut up and dribble. Here interviewing the best professionals in the game and in the boardroom, covering it all, laughing at all, while providing a platform to be heard. All right, so you know what we do about this time. We want to welcome our guests, all right? So basketball is a game that could take you all around the world and provide you with great opportunities. So this guy, from being coach to being a coach, all right? We're going to talk about a little bit of family business, man. We got Josh Hayes on the show. Let's clap it up. What's up, Josh? How you doing tonight, man?
Doing well, man. I appreciate you guys having me.
Oh, man, glad you could jump on with us, man. So how we start the show is we always ask a shoot your shot moment, okay? So this is a story. It could have been just something that's happened to you where you went for it all, you bet on yourself, and it's a specific story. You know, don't give me that, man, I'll always shoot my shot, man. I live shoot my shot. We need that specific story. Go.
Well, I will say I do always shoot my shot.
Okay.
At least career-wise. With the ladies, it was a little bit different. But how I got this job was definitely a shoot my shot kind of moment. So, you know, in coaching, especially Division I coaching, you know, most people only hire who they know.
Right.
You don't really see a lot of hires from just random stuff. And most coaches don't really read their emails either.
Okay.
So, here at the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina, I had a friend that used to be on staff as a director of basketball operations, and he let me know that there was a couple of positions that would potentially be open. So I emailed the head coach, not expecting to get any return. Coaches honestly don't check their emails like that. And they definitely don't respond. And they get a lot of inquiries, obviously, about jobs from people they don't know. And so, you know, I wrote an email. I tried to be as humble as possible, but also trying to sell myself in a short paragraph.
Okay.
And to my surprise, a couple of days later, he wrote me back, asked me to send a video of why I'm a good fit and what makes a good assistant coach and that kind of thing. Just a 5-minute video. So I sent a 5-minute video. Thank God I had an iPhone. Like weeks before that, I had an Android. So
hey, hold on.
Green bubble.
Android still.
Come on.
Video would have showed up in just that little centimeter joint.
Whatever. But you would have had great video quality, though.
Yeah.
We know who has an Android on the show, right?
So I sent the video. He was impressed with the video, asked if we can chat and talk, and we had a 2-hour conversation. Great conversation. And then he put me on with his assistant coach, the only coach that was remaining on staff in terms of just the other 2 guys left. And that was a good conversation. And a month later, here I am, assistant men's basketball coach at the Citadel.
Boom.
Which is crazy, again, because most people don't hire people they don't know.
Right.
I'm actually his first hire of someone that he hasn't either coached or known previously or had any kind of previous relationship with. And, I go from Division II to Division I without even knowing the guy. So that's a shoot your shot moment. That's God's, kind of showing out and a tremendous blessing. But, yeah, man. So
that's awesome, man.
I've had flat stories like that, but that's certainly my most recent one.
That's big time, man. I'm assuming that you had the CarMax for that short video.
Oh yeah, it took me. I didn't tell him this, but it was about 6 or 7 takes in that 5-minute video.
So sometimes shooting your shot, you got to get your own rebound and put it back up, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I was following my shot.
So let's start at the beginning, Josh. So where did your love for sports start?
Yeah, man. So, obviously we grew up in a family that was pretty sports oriented. You played football My older brother played football. Two older brothers played football. All my older brothers really played football. My dad played college football. And he didn't really force sports on us or anything like that, but we just naturally loved it. I remember I played tackle football, I think, as early as 5 or 6 years old. I mean, I was pretty early. I was pretty young, and loved it. I mean, I can remember summers where we would start off playing whatever sports was closest in season. So maybe basketball in the morning,
Right.
have a home run derby in the afternoon, and we'll finish with football at night. I mean, that's what we just did all day, every day. I mean, we just kind of always loved sports. So it was something that came second nature. I'm not really sure if we played because we were good or we were good because we played a lot. But, there was always some kind of ball in the house. Year round, we were playing sports all the way up until, high school for me, where I had to kind of focus on one, not necessarily by choice. It's just kind of how it happened. But, growing up, I played basketball, football, baseball all the way up until maybe 7th or 8th grade. So
Okay.
I always loved sports.
Talk to me about, you was always kind of a control your own destiny guy, aware of
For
your
sure.
brand pretty early in, like, I don't know, elementary or middle school. So I guess where did that knowledge of, I guess, even marketing yourself or selling yourself, how did that come about for you?
I think it was an advantage having older brothers, because you see things that they do and things that work and maybe things that don't work. So having that kind of just firsthand feedback growing up was helpful. And I'm just kind of naturally a little anal, for lack of a better word, of stuff, right? So I probably care a little too much about certain things.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of learned early that everything matters, so to speak. There's nothing that's really too small or too big, and everything matters, from just like you said, like branding yourself and marketing yourself, and to working out, to separating yourself. I was really, really focused at an early age, kind of one-track minded in what I wanted to do. And it was just, I don't know if it came from just being competitive
Uh-huh.
or paranoid or just a little crazy, but I was really, really just focused. And I understood, like Miles said, kind of early, and a lot of that was from, the people I was around, but just how important everything is, and, not eliminating yourself, and kind of staying on the straight and narrow. Because it's, I knew how competitive sports was early.
Right.
So I know a lot of kids have this filter where they're the best in their neighborhood, or the best in their state, or the best in their community, or whatever, and they feel like, that's it. Kind of being exposed to the bigger world earlier, and going through Miles's recruiting process and my older brother's recruiting process, I knew it was really competitive. So I didn't want to do anything to eliminate myself, right?
Nice.
So I wanted to make sure that if I was going to be eliminated, I was going to be eliminated because I just wasn't good enough, not because of something else external.
Gotcha. And so, because Miles and you guys have all kind of traveled a lot, being that your dad was in the service, where did you grow up?
So I lived a pretty normal life up until high school, really.
Gotcha.
So grew up in Colorado, first 13 years, right before my 14th birthday, I believe. We moved in June going into high school. So finished 8th grade, maybe June 6th or something.
Okay.
And we leave to Turkey June 13th. I mean, it was that quick.
Dang.
So I really didn't put two and two together that my dad did anything with the military until we were moving to Turkey. To be quite honest.
That'll wake you up.
It never registered to me. And even when he said Turkey, I was thinking like
Thanksgiving, nigga.
Yeah, I'm thinking Turkey, maybe like Kentucky or Washington. It didn't register until I
Turkey,
was in
Oklahoma,
Turkey.
just Turkey, right?
Middle East Turkey. Like, dang, I'm in Turkey.
Until we in the airport about to fight somebody in France because he cut me off with yeah.
Right. So So for I was normal. I was a normal, I guess, civilian life. I didn't know anything about the military really up until we got to Turkey, and then but Turkey was a tremendous, eye opener from just a perspective at that age. Certainly didn't appreciate it at the time. I think my dad sold us on being there for 1 year, and that 1 year turned into almost 3 years.
Got him.
Yeah.
Got him.
But it's done wonders in terms of shaping my perspective today, and allowing me to be able to connect with a whole lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds, because I've been exposed to a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds.
No, that's big, man. And I think people don't get that because you have, and it's probably dying down a little more now in these generations. But the fact is, some people have never left their state.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people never left their city. So to get that kind of worldwide exposure, and just anytime I think you can get experiences of something different than, what you're accustomed to, it just has to be an amazing event and just add into your life skills.
For sure. And, it helps with, I don't want to get too, I don't want to say political, but it helps with empathy and sympathy. I can walk in other people's shoes, or at least kind of understand what other people are going through. It's not hard for me to get to that level mentally, right? I lived in a Muslim country, so I'm very tolerant of other people. And I think that's something that, by and large, our country is kind of missing, the ability to kind of step in someone else's shoes.
Right.
1000%. So with your time in Turkey, man, you were kind of, and I'm going to mention this guy's name just because I'm a Knicks fan. I was hoping the ping pong balls bounce so we could
Oh my gosh,
get young LaMelo. But you were kind of doing like LaMelo ball even before it was kind of like a trendy thing where it is kind of now, of kind of playing semi kind of professionally in a foreign country in Europe as an American. Talk about that.
Yeah. So again, just to backtrack a little, basketball wasn't even on my radar like that. Again, the plan was to go to Turkey for a year. I was going to lift weights, kind of have like just a self-proclaimed red shirt.
Okay.
Get swole, get back to the States, play slot receiver, running back, kick
Okay.
return, punt return, go play in the Big 12.
And that could have still happened.
That's what I thought was going to happen. In my head, that's what's going to happen.
That was a game.
Reality was, didn't play for high school football. No Big 12 basketball or football.
Now, was it they didn't play football over there?
Right, so there just wasn't access to American football. I mean, on the base, you could play flag football, but no disrespect to flag football, but that wasn't the football I grew up playing.
Absolutely.
So, really like basketball. I played basketball in high school almost out of, I don't want to say boredom, but almost out of boredom and like competitive spirit. So I remember a story when I was a freshman. So I played my freshman year and I was pretty good. But I was good because I was athletic and, just athletic really. I wasn't really good. I shouldn't say I was good. I was okay. I was serviceable.
Good serviceable.
Hey, so you'll take those some of the time, man. You'll definitely take those.
So the summer going into my sophomore year, I remember playing on base with I don't know if he was old, but he was maybe 30, 35, 36. That's old for basketball, I guess, especially if you're not like a professional or anything. You're just a random military dude. Wasn't very good. He was about 6'3", 6'4". He had really long arms. We were playing 21. It was me, him, and another guy that wasn't very good that I really don't remember who it was, but I know there was 3 people. So I felt like I should have been the best in that game. Right. And the dude blocked my jump shot, not layup, my jump shot like 4 times.
That's humiliating.
He wasn't good. I mean, he was 35. He wasn't quick. He had the mid brown military socks on while he was still hooping. And he was blocking my shot, like getting legit pieces of it. So, I was almost in tears, man, because I'm really, really competitive. So I asked him, like, man, how do you keep on blocking my shot? No disrespect to you. You're not really athletic. how are you blocking my shot? And he was honest. He said, you have a load in your shot. You make a move, but I can tell when you're about to shoot. It takes you a long time to get to your shot. So, again, out of just pure competitive drive, I guess, the whole summer. So this happened early. It's like school just ended. So
Okay.
this could have been May or June. Whole summer, I didn't play against anybody. And this was kind of pre-YouTube. So I kind of just self-taught how to get my release quicker. And I did just stupid, crazy drills that I thought would work. And I probably looked dumb. I reconstructed my whole shot. I remember asking my younger brother to record me and like, hey, how's this look? Still too slow. I used to just do stupid stuff. I'd be in the hallways just as quick as I can.
Working on that release, huh?
All kind of crazy things. And then, so I was always fast. I was always quick. And I worked really hard on my jump shooting that summer. And when I played someone again in like September, I mean, I was killing it, right? So I was still quick. I was still fast. But all of a sudden I could shoot and you could be right in my face. But because I was so quick and unpredictable, I was able to get my shot off against anybody, regardless of your space. I was able to kind of just create a good look.
Did you get back with the dude on the base though? Just to double check it?
You know what? I think he left, but I was certainly looking for him.
Still looking for.
Still looking for it.
I was checking everybody's socks that walked into the gym. That's not you.
So, oh my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, but my confidence just really, really grew from there.
Right.
And, that led to one opportunity, and I started really dominating the competition that was my age. And, eventually my junior year, I was invited to a semi-pro camp, and I was 15 or 16 years old at the time.
Wow.
Went through the training camp, and they offered a contract. We knew at some point we were going to come back to the States. So, I didn't take the contract, but I went through the whole training camp process and played in a couple of scrimmages, and they were going to write this big article. I was going to be the youngest player in that league.
Wow.
Definitely the youngest American player in that league. And just all came from just constant work. Again, I was a guy who had no ambitions at all playing high school basketball. And here I am 2 or 3 years later.
Just with that competitive spirit.
With a chance to be a professional.
That's amazing.
And so that's just, and that goes with, Miles said something about kind of controlling your own destiny. And that's one of the things I love about basketball is the ability to go to the gym and really get better. You know what I mean? And your success is almost on you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. In a team sport, it is a team sport for sure. And you need everyone else and everyone has to work together and all that good stuff. But it's not like football where,
Hold on, don't be disrespectful.
no disrespect to football.
Yeah.
But, if you don't have a good offensive line, you can be the best receiver in the world. You're not going to get, you're not going to get great balls. Your quarterback can be stinky or the quarterback can be good, but if he doesn't have time, he's not going to be as good. Right. So there's so many other factors in basketball. There's only 4 other people on the floor, right? So if you can't play, you can't play. That's on you. That's not on anyone else. And I kind of like that about hoops. That I can go to the gym, and I can get better, right? Someone's blocking my shot, I can fix it, right? I can make this better. It's unlike football or track, right? If someone's faster than you, someone's just faster than you. I mean, what are you gonna do? You can work out. He's gonna work out. There's only so many push-ups and sit-ups and stretching you can do. You're still not gonna be Usain Bolt. But in hoops, right, you can overcome certain things because of the level of skill that's involved and the nature of it. And I love that about it.
Awesome. So who's the most competitive in the household, man? So you guys, you have 4 other brothers? There's 5 of you guys? 5?
Yeah, there's 5 of us. Yeah.
So let's rank them. Let's rank them in the most athletic. Give me the ranking. Start from the bottom. Who's number 5 and get to number 1?
Don't be
Oh
disrespectful.
shoot.
Yeah. Let's get in the Hayes household because you guys,
All right,
like you
so
said, you guys
how
all.
we define an athletic? If we're defining athletic by like quickness, running, jumping, coordination, I'm not the tallest, but I definitely think I'm in that upper echelon there.
So give me the top 3. Let's just give me the top 3.
All right, so I think I'm one in terms of that.
Boom. Number one.
I don't know if I'm the best. Like I
No,
think my younger brother.
Stick with it. Stick with it. You number one.
Okay.
Who's
So
coming in who's coming in
I'll
second?
give you two categories. That category, I'm number one.
Okay.
Number two would be.
Miles got a look on his face. Let's go. Hey,
I know who number two is in my opinion. I know who number one is in my opinion, but I know who number two is in my opinion.
I think number two is the oldest.
Yeah.
Ben from a size and a like explosion standpoint.
Okay.
He was pretty impressive. And I think Miles is 3, and I think Gerard is probably 4.
Okay.
And I would say Caleb is 5 in terms of athletic ability.
Dang, why y'all kill Caleb like that, man?
Another category in terms of just being the best in sports.
If Caleb's number one, I'm not taking your list. I'm just telling you right now.
I was gonna say Caleb's number one in being the best in sports.
Yeah.
The dude is just good at everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not really fast or anything like that. He's just flat out good in everything. And I would say Miles would be number 2 because Miles was pretty just naturally good at, well, at least basketball and football. Baseball was
Something else.
another story there.
Who would win in the race then? Who's the fastest?
I think top end speed. If we're going over 40 yards, Miles. If we're going under or 40 or under, I think I'm the fastest.
Yeah, that part is debatable, but
Well, hey,
that 40-yard dash is debatable.
Some people may have forgot, but Miles has a bet once we get out of this quarantine stuff where he's running some races against one of our guests. So
I'm not.
Oh.
I haven't forgot about it.
Okay.
I haven't forgot about it at all.
How long's the races? I'll
Yeah, it's a mile.
Oh shoot, I'm not in that.
So let's kind of, get from high school, talk about that recruiting and kind of get in the game a little bit of how you transition, because you did all of this in Turkey, right? That's when you got a chance to try out and go for the professional team. But then you finish your high school actually in the States, right?
Correct. So yeah, my senior year, a little bit of my junior year, but my senior year we moved to North Carolina.
Okay.
And same high school that J. Cole went to, Terry Sanford.
Yeah, hold on. Let's stop right there real quick.
See, that was a later question.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No,
go
but
ahead.
we there.
No,
let's go there.
No, go ahead.
Ask the question, please. Let's do this now.
I had my opinions on J. Cole
and they were very
basketball.
strong. So if you didn't listen to the locker room, I don't even know what episode it was, but a lot of y'all listened to that because we got a lot of feedback on that. So go.
So Josh, give me the goods on J. Cole, Terry Sanford High School.
He going to the league, right? Is that what you're saying?
Again, yeah. So I feel probably like Miles, where I think it's a little disrespectful that
why not?
He thinks at his age he can just put on some Pumas and play in the NBA. That's crazy to me. But that's neither here or there.
That's here. That's definitely here.
Here's some actual facts here.
Okay.
And I'm not hating. I'm just telling facts. Now, J. Cole's senior year, there were a couple games over 5. I want to say they were like 19-12.
All right.
Not the greatest, but not the worst. His junior year, I kid you not, they were 1-24. Now, I don't know too many NBA players that's played on a 1-24 team.
But you did say that if you're individual, right? Like
basketball, there's only 4 other people on the floor, so you should be able to affect the game a little bit more than one win.
If you're an NBA guy.
If you're an NBA guy, absolutely.
I agree. In high school.
So, that's just facts. I'm not hating on the dude. I just think his basketball pedigree is a little thin. It's a little thin.
Y'all ain't been seeing the videos, man, with him in like rec ball, playing with Migos.
I mean, yeah. I mean, in that league, he'll probably average 10.
He's killing them.
I don't know if that's good enough to be in the NBA.
He's killing them. All right, man. Y'all sleeping on J. Cole, man.
I actually think Migos do like I think those little dudes are better than J. Cole.
Wow.
From what I've seen.
Yeah, I don't know about they all questionable. Probably Chris Brown is probably the one that's actually legit out of all those
what's that rapper is it Dave Eastman or whatever his name is? Mm-hmm. Is that his name?
I saw that video.
whatever. He played
Just
at Towson.
East?
So
Yeah, Dave East. It's just Dave East.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think he's the best of the rapper hooper guys because he's an actual hooper. I mean, the rest of them are just. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on him. I mean,
We'll leave it at that.
that's their thing.
So
That's
y'all
it.
can check out episode 23 of the locker room to get some more of the J. Cole because it's hilarious.
So
Don't get me in trouble, man. Terry Sanford, stand up, man. Man.
We backpedaling now.
So-
All right, so back to
yeah. Talk to me about just coming back to the States at that point in North Carolina. Obviously, North Carolina athletics look a lot different from Colorado athletics that you left. So.
well, hell, and Turkey, right? Like
And Turkey.
Your
Yeah, for
swag
sure.
had to be a whole lot different
Yeah.
thanks to the guy in the brown socks.
Yeah. So I went in really, really confident. And I mean, obviously I was playing with grown people. You know what I mean? So high schools weren't really a thing. Not like that, but I was used to a certain level. But there was like a reality of wanting to fit in that I didn't account for when I came back. Right. So when I first came back, I was focused, like, yeah, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna, just do what I've been doing for the last couple of years,
Right.
and all that. But there was an element of again, I'm competitive. I wanted to win, but you don't want to graduate your senior year with like no friends because you alienated everybody, and like Kobe's a different dude. He, I was competitive like Kobe, but I didn't have that.
That asshole.
Yeah. Kobe was just kind of, I don't care.
Yeah.
I didn't have that fully. So I didn't want to. Not that I was just 10 times better than everybody else, but there was opportunity where I really could have separated myself. But that would have came at the cost of just overall happiness, frankly. And so
No, that's big because there's some
Yeah,
players that talk about that. I think Deion Sanders used to talk about that with Jerry Rice, right? Because Jerry Rice was just so competitive. He was so into training. He's like, man, he didn't have fun while in the game. He's like, I did my thing and had fun in the game,
Right.
So no,
Right.
that's very perceptive at that age too.
Right. So, I had a decent, we had as a group, Terry Sanford, I was fortunate to be a part of one of the best Terry Sanford teams since like Rusty Clark. Rusty Clark was a big that played at Carolina in like the 60s.
Okay.
And we had the best year at that school since 1967, I think, or something. We were 26-4. And just the buzz around the town was just crazy. I remember when we first moved in and I was telling people where I was going to high school. I'm like, oh, Terry Sanford, you're not a real baller if you're going to Terry Sanford. So that was his reputation. Everybody went to different schools, Westover, 71st, or there was other schools that were known more for hoops than Terry Sanford was. Let's put it that way.
But in North Carolina, though, there is good hoops, though.
North Carolina is really good hoops.
Okay.
I think it's really good hoops. It's really deep in terms of talent, right? So you have, at least 20-something Division I players a year, and that's probably underselling a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of good talent. So, I performed decently, in a solid state, but coming out of nowhere and being a little guy and not necessarily doing anything spectacular.
Right.
My recruiting was I wouldn't say non-existent, but it was going to take a whole lot for someone my size and coming out of nowhere to jump people's lists that they've been investing in for years and months and all that stuff. And I understand now that I'm on this side of that. I understand that completely. So, my recruiting process was a little different. And I really have a tale of almost two kind of stories in my own high school career. Like, I was the man as sophomore, junior, to being just, I was good, but I certainly wasn't the man. I played basketball with Dwayne Allen, who played in the NFL, won a Super Bowl with the Patriots. My backup point guard was Chris Wilson. He has his number retired. He played at St. Joe's, played in the top league in Germany. And then we had a couple other guys sprinkling that were, Division I caliber players. And I just wanted to fit in, have some friends during graduation. So, you know, my recruiting process was a little different. I don't have some of these sexy stories that I probably could have had if things were a little different. But, you know, my story is my story, and I don't really regret it. And it's certainly helped me kind of get to this point. So out of high school, I went to the University of Wyoming. Another shoot your shot moment.
Okay.
Somehow, this was still during MySpace. Somehow I got the head coach's cell phone number.
Was he in your top 5?
That top 8.
Top 8, whatever.
No, I don't know how I did it, man. I really don't. I think one of the players on the team, Jabril Cham, was a transfer from Baylor.
Okay.
And from Senegal. Good dude, really good dude. And I befriended him on MySpace, and I think I showed him some highlights, or I don't know what I did. Somehow, I don't know how I convinced him, but he gave me the head coach's cell phone number. So I called the head coach a gazillion times, and he finally picked up.
Okay.
And I still talk to him to this day. And he allowed me to kind of be a part of the program. His freshman year, and that was 2008, 2009. It was around the same time. I guess One and Done was there for a couple years, so I think I was a year or two before Kevin Durant, maybe a year before or a year after a year or two after Kevin Durant, a year or two after OJ Mayo and that class. The same freshmen with me were like Drew Holiday and guys like that. Isaiah Thomas, that was his freshman year. So I got a little taste of Division I, but I also got a little taste of reality of Division I, where I saw it pretty clearly that so at Wyoming there was a young guy, little dude named JD Lester, who's now an assistant coach at Pacific with Damon Stoudemire, and he was the first little dude that I played against that was like just flat out better than me, and it was just like, you know, it's going to be either me or you playing. They can't play 2 5'8", 5'9" dudes. And I was looking at him like, yeah, it's going to be you. So, I always knew I wanted to coach, but I got my little whistle wet, and then I transferred and kind of bounced around and just really, really wanted to play. Transferred to Troy, didn't play there. Thought I was going to play there. It was a long story. Didn't handle the transfer recruiting process as well as I probably should have. Wasn't as thorough. So I wanted to play. Played at a Division III for a year. Got injured. That was kind of a rough year. I had a lot of expectations, obviously, coming from a Division I program,
right,
with the semi-pro stuff, and D3, you should dominate. And I played okay, but I didn't dominate by any stretch of the imagination, and missed some games, battled injury, and I knew then that was it. That was it for me. I played 1 year and transitioned into coaching after that while I was still in school.
So did you start coaching, like assistant coaching, while you were like out or running drills or just being at practice, kind of going over film and things like that? Like, when did the coaching bug kind of hit you, or you were just like, this is my reality, this is my new dream I'm chasing?
Yeah, so again, I always thought I was going to be a coach. I read a book in 8th grade, Aspire Higher, by Avery Johnson. And from then on, I mean, he talked about the influence that coaches had on him in his life, the way he talked about his high school coach and his college coach. From then, I knew I was going to coach.
Oh, wow.
At the time, I thought I was going to coach football. So I started reading Nick Saban books, and Lane Kiffin was my guy. I mean, don't ask me why, but he was.
Okay.
So I was focused. I knew I was going to coach.
Gotcha.
I knew I was going to coach.
Yeah, you was coaching everything. Coaching Caleb, coaching me.
Yeah. I took a year off. I remember 1 year I didn't play football it might have been 6th grade. And I just helped out coaching my younger brother's team in 6th grade. Now, there was another part of that story.
Okay.
I had a crush on a girl, and her little brother was on the team. And I thought she was gonna come to more practice than she came. She only came to like 3. But I still, and I kind of fell in love with it then. So I was in 6th grade, and I fast forward to being a junior in college, and I knew I was kind of done. And I was fortunate enough to kind of land an opportunity. I took a year off from school, I was working at Toys R Us and Coca-Cola. Man, tough jobs.
Right.
During
I
the
was
holiday
Jeffrey the
season.
Giraffe a few times, so I was probably the
The
shortest.
holiday,
Jeffrey
the holiday
Giraffe.
work
That
staff.
holiday stuff.
Yeah. So that was rough. But I coached at J.H. Rose High School, and really
where's that
got
at?
a lot of responsibilities really early.
Is that in North Carolina too?
North Carolina?
Okay.
That's in Greenville, North Carolina. And
Greenville.
that was kind of my first opportunity of having a team. I coached a few games. The head coach of the JV team got sick after like game 3, and he just kind of left the assistants in charge. So I was running practices, and I coached in a few games, and just was hooked. And
Okay.
I just remember feeling how in coaching, as a player, there's so much about it. There's so much selfishness involved, just naturally, right? I mean, after the game, win, lose, or draw, you kind of look at your stats. You kind of look how you did here and there, or what have you. In coaching, there's none of that. Like, the bottom line is the bottom line, right? You can't say, man, I did a good job of drawing up this set, but we lost. Like, no, it doesn't work like that.
Right. You can't take your kudos.
So I was hooked to that bottom line, and I was hooked to seeing kids grow and prosper, and then those relationships. Like coaches have such a special bond for whatever reason, and a chance to influence people's lives. And I still talk to a lot of those kids, man. And that was a long time ago, 2000, maybe 2011. Yeah. And I still talk to these kids, and none of these dudes play basketball anymore. But you always cherish those relationships and those times, and I don't know. There's something about coaching that's just really, really special and enticing, and I think it's unlike any profession in the world. Honestly, it's truly unique.
So even touch on that piece, because you've coached that. You mentioned high school. We've had a guest on, Reggie Roby. He played at a prep school, and there's some others that we've had that's played at prep school. So you've had experience at prep school, and obviously now in the college. So I guess how all those levels shape you into, I guess, the coach you are now, or just what did you kind of gain for some of those levels?
Sure. So with the unique thing about high school is it really shapes you as a well, obviously the goal is not necessarily just wins and losses. It's developing young men, getting them ready for whatever's next in their life, right? For some, that's college sports. For some, that's the workforce. For most, hopefully, it's kind of leading the family. Eventually, hopefully not right out of high school, but you kind of want to. You're setting the foundation kind of at that level. But on the court, because you can't, especially at a traditional public school, as I was, because you can't recruit or really control your talent level, your mind is really expanded in terms of X's and O's, because you got to find a way to be competitive with whatever you have.
What you got.
For sure.
You're serviceable players.
Exactly. So sometimes you have 6'2" centers, and you got to figure out how to compete against 6'7" centers, or sometimes it's opposite. Sometimes you got a whole lot of size, but you got an itty bitty point guard that can't really do anything but just run fast and play like Kevin Hart, run into the walls and kick stuff. And so you have to figure out a way to kind of get all those guys competitive. Prep school was a little different, and I was at Notre Dame Prep, and I love Notre Dame Prep. I've heard some comments from some of your other guests where it's not the best academic school. I understand that. They don't gotta take shots at my school now, but I really learned about the business of college basketball at Notre Dame Prep. We had probably 18 to 20 Division I prospects on that team. 11 went Division I, and so part of my job was just kind of entertaining the coaches, right? When they came during open gyms and stuff like that, telling them about this kid, oh no, this kid can't do this kid can't do that.
Right.
I had to tell this kid to stop smoking in the room, this kid doesn't put lotion on, etc. Right. So you really learned about recruiting, right? So that was my first kind of taste of what college coaches are doing. What are they at? What kind of questions are they asking? What are they looking for? How is this school different than this school? How does this school approach recruiting versus this school? Is this head coach a recruiter, or is this head coach just kind of a figurehead and he's not really recruiting? So I learned a little bit about the business of coaching, especially in college, and then now being in college, and I've now coached Division III, Division II, and Division I. I've learned how to kind of approach different kind of kids, right? With Division III, you have to understand that no one's going to be necessarily excited to talk to you because you're a Division III coach. It's not Notre Dame that's calling. It's Notre Dame College or something weird like that. Notre Dame of the East.
Phoenix of Notre Dame.
You got to sell your university. You have to find different pockets to engage kids, and then you learn not to spin your wheels.
Right.
You're not wasting your time recruiting someone that's never going to come to your school, or you learn that at Division III. At Division II, Division II, you learn a lot about compliance because a lot of these guys are maybe good enough to play Division I but don't qualify, or they have one defect. Maybe they're really athletic, can't shoot.
Defect is a funny word. I don't know why. I don't know why. Mike Epps, when how he walked around with his little limp. I don't know why it was the first thing that popped in my head when you said defect. I hope you don't get no guards like that.
Yeah, but yeah. So with Division II, you learn kind of how to get people in school. I did a lot of junior college recruiting there. So yeah, every level is different, and you pick different things from every level. But every level is your level. You know what I'm saying? And there's no shame in being in Division III. There's no shame in being in Division II. There's no shame in being in Division I. It's
man. If it's paying for
basketball.
Yeah, if it's paying for education, and
sure.
you still get to pay the game that you love, man, that's a win.
Absolutely.
So Miles, you got them quick hits, man?
Yeah, I got some quick hits for you, Josh.
Sure.
All right. So when was the first time, if ever, that you've been starstruck?
Ooh. I wouldn't say starstruck, but again, I'm a different dude. I knew I was going to coach for a while, so I look at coaches a little bit more as celebrities than probably most people. The first time Jamie Dixon, who's now the head coach at TCU, at the time he was the head coach at Pitt, first time he walked into the gym, he had a bit of a aura about himself. He was a little arrogant at the time that I saw him. Maybe he was having a bad day. But I don't know if I was starstruck, but he was the first person like, dang, that's Jamie Dixon. That's kind of crazy.
Right.
And then Billy Donovan had the similar thing, and then I remember seeing Brad Stevens, and it being kind of the opposite, and it's probably the reason why I like him so much, where he was just a basic dude. Like he had some. First of all, no one really recruits him in blue jeans, but he had blue jeans on. I call them post fades, not pre fades. So they were blue, but you can tell he washed them a lot. So they were the post fade blue, and just some basic Nike shoes. I mean, he was just the most unassuming dude. He just had a conversation, and I just remember how humble he was, and how he didn't take himself seriously. He was just like, yeah, I coach basketball, man. I mean, I'm not that important. And in reality, we're not that important. We just coach basketball. We're not really doing anything crazy. But I think Jamie Dixon was the first.
Starstruck.
I guess he's not a star. And then there was a couple players here and there that I saw that was like, that's pretty cool. But he was probably the very first that I saw that was like, it's Jamie Dixon.
All right. So if you had to, of college players, have a top 5 basketball, okay, not NBA guys. If you had to have a starting lineup, your dream starting lineup, who would that dream starting lineup be? College basketball players
that I've seen in person, or just in general?
Just in general, their version of themselves in college. We're not even talking about the NBA.
Okay, that's a good question. Point guard would be. I don't like him. I really don't like him, but Jason Williams.
Okay, that's a point.
I think he was tough, really tough. Shooting guard would be, and a lot of this is going to be more my era and where I grew up. So I mean, don't shoot the messenger here. Was Miles Simon a shooting guard?
Yeah. Arizona. So Miles Simon.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your
I would
3?
go with him at the 2. At the 3, I'll probably play like a 3-guard Villanova type of a style. So I would put another guard in there. I'm gonna say it was a guard that was just really dominant that I liked watching play.
I mean, AI at Georgetown.
Rest in peace, coach.
Damn, AI don't make the
Okay,
list.
I'll give you
Okay.
AI.
Hey,
We gotta
he
think
paused
about
on that, right? He was like,
AI,
know.
AI might come off the bench on Josh's team.
Right.
I was thinking of just logic. Well, we needed somebody that can stretch the floor a little bit, but we can go with AI.
Okay, give me a 4.
A power forward. Now this is okay. I didn't have a chance to plan for this, so the first power forward
That's what they
that
call
popped
quick
into my
hits.
head,
That's what they call quick hits off the top.
for some odd reason, is Carlos Boozer. I don't know why.
I
think
don't
Carlos Boozer
either.
wasn't bad.
Okay.
This is hair. This is pre-hair episode.
This is hair Carlos Boozer. Now.
Okay.
He's real good.
natural hair, Carlos Boozer.
And then at the 5, I'm gonna go with Greg Oden because he was pretty dominant when he was in.
Great.
Got it.
LeBron's daddy.
Correct.
There you go, man. All right, so we want to switch it up. Want to jump into the Winner Circle platform that and what you want to talk about was just really the state of the black coach, and I think it's great for you. So once again, congratulations on getting such a prestigious role at a prestigious university, man. So congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. But just talk to us about the struggle and then if it's going to get better and how it can get better.
Sure. Yeah. I do think awareness is so key, and we're at an important time in our country and our society, and especially in athletics, where more people are just becoming aware.
Right.
I had some conversations with some guys, and they were just talking about, these are some white guys, good people, but they were just talking about their own, just almost ignorance and just not knowing. And when things kind of hit home to them, and they're like, dang, so maybe all this stuff isn't just made up talk, or it seems distant until it hits you in the face and like it's affecting someone that you know and that you care about. So I do think awareness is good, and I think we're trending in the right direction. And what the West Coast Conference is doing with the Bill Russell rule, where the West Coast Conference, in that conference, one of the 3 finalists has to be an African American or a minority. And that's huge. And that's I think that's taken it a step further than the Rooney Rule, where they have to name a finalist. So they got to go through the interview process legitimately and name a finalist. And he has to be, one of them has to be African American. And that's huge. That's a big step.
And how long has that one been in play? Do you know?
That was just passed
a
month ago.
Oh,
so
amazing.
Yeah, that's something that's kind of a part of this whole movement right now.
That's big.
That we're in. And I also think slowly but surely, the stigma of black coaches just being recruiters is kind of getting eliminated, or more black coaches are embracing that, and athletic directors are starting to understand that, well, recruiting is kind of the name of the game. So it's not a bad thing if you're really good at recruiting.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because in college basketball, you're not going to be good unless you can recruit. That's just, you're only as good as your players. If you don't got good players, you're not a good coach. I don't really care who you are.
Your players are your currency. I mean, if you don't have the players on the.
That's a fact. That's actual fact. So, and you're starting to hear where athletic directors are saying, don't shy away from being labeled as a recruiter, because recruiting is really, really important in our profession. And then on the other side of that, you're also hearing and seeing more coaches, more African American coaches get associate head coaching titles. Jason Hart at USC was voted by his peers as the top assistant coach in the Pac-12. African American. At UConn just yesterday, a coach who has an AAU background, and those guys are usually just considered the recruiters and never really elevate. They always have jobs, but they never really elevate.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just announced as an associate head coach. Right. So we're starting to get titles and things moving in the right direction where we're going to get opportunities to be head coaches and lead our programs. We don't have to take weird sacrifices and go down in the high school level to get head coaching experience, where we're starting to get the proper just due, and we're not that label of being just recruiters and can relate to the players is slowly but surely getting shedded.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think that's huge because I mean I'll change this into like a football kind of perspective, but you always typically see the black coach is a running back coach, or you can coach the DBs, or you can coach the receivers, and we're not you can stay away from the quarterbacks a little bit, and we maybe give you the defensive line because they can kind of what I mean. So like we won't give you the offensive line, like that's thinking too much kind of thing. So like it's starting to slowly change in that aspect as well, and I think that's definitely good. And you starting to see more black athletic directors. You saw the Washington football team has a black team president on the business side of things. So a young man. So yeah, it is starting to change. And I think that's a good thing. I think that is because that represents more of what America is. It's a little more diverse than what's historically been at the top. So.
And I mean,
think that's
even
a
if
good thing.
you look at your leagues, I mean, like, how do you assimilate to your leagues when they're a large percentage of something that doesn't show at the top, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
So recruiting has been a big part, right, of even stigma or not stigma. How have you seen recruiting change, and I guess just for a comparison, use from when you were recruited to, like, recruiting these kids now, right? Because we have this conversation a lot, Miles and I, and we actually had a guy come on the locker room and talk about just recruiting now. So how has that changed with the athlete of today?
Sure. I think, the first thing that pops in my head, even from just when I first got into coaching, there's just more of everything, right? So there's more followers that these recruits have because of social media. And with that, so there's some unintentional consequences where there's more, I don't want to call them handlers because that's, but there's more people that you have to talk to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
When I first started recruiting, and even when I was at Notre Dame Prep, college coaches would talk to the prep school coach, maybe the high school coach, maybe the AAU coach, and then the parents. Right? You'll have a parent or a family member, a mom, a brother, a mom, an uncle, a mom, a dad, whatever their family dynamic is, and that was it. Now, I mean, I kid you not, you have all of that plus their brand manager, their and these kids switch AAU teams like it's underwear. So all 10 of the AAU coaches, all 6 of their high school coaches, they're trainers. They're trainers in the winter. They're trainers in the spring. They're 2 different trainers. I mean, it's like literally 10 people that you have to recruit to get to the kid.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And the unfortunate part, and one reason why I'm really thankful that I'm at the institution that I'm at, is it kind of inflates the kids' ego a little bit, right? So then when they get to school and everything isn't all peaches and cream, as it won't be, because there's a transition in college for everybody, whether you're a student athlete or not.
Right.
These kids are immediately bolting, and they're transferring because that's what they did in high school. They're not getting the love that they got, and they should be able to transfer freely. I'm not saying any of that, but it's just harder to kind of some of the principles that you want to instill in kids is a little more difficult now because of the way the recruiting process almost has to work. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole lot of kissing booty going on right now in recruiting, and that stuff goes to your head, man. If you're 17, 16 years old and you've been told you're the best thing since sliced bread for that long at that age, when the first time someone's not telling you that you're the best thing from sliced bread, you're going to feel some kind of way about it.
And you're looking to the first thing to get out of there.
Yeah. And I think that's I think that's just kind of all walks of life. I sometimes on my personal phone, it's rare. Like Josh, you're probably one of the few people I actually talk to on the phone. Everybody else is a green bubble or a blue bubble, and whether I'm gonna talk to you more is on the green bubble or blue bubble. EJ,
Right.
Android. No, I'm just saying. I'm just playing on that. But
He
no,
is
for
not.
real.
He's so serious.
But all jokes aside, like I just think that it's just different. Why talk to you on the phone where I could talk to 8 people at one time in a group message? I don't know. It's just like a weird scenario how things are now. So
Correct. And I think one of the hardest things is when you're dealing in a team sport is we live in such a me kind of society.
Yeah.
And it's nothing wrong with it. We're all like that. I mean, we all have our 15 social media pages. That's just what we're doing. That's everybody. That's not knocking on young people. So it's really hard to kind of get someone to buy into something that's bigger than themselves that quickly, right?
Yeah.
Again, you go from me, my brand, which is good. All that stuff is important. To then get to college and it's team.
You need to take a charge. You need to rotate over here and take this charge, or you got to come off the bench.
That's
like, who you talking to, coach? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse with NIL, name, image, and likeness. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah, that's going to be really difficult to navigate, man. I mean, and they deserve it. I'm not saying that,
Thank you. Yes.
I don't know if necessarily universities need to be paying them, but if Tim Tebow or Zion Williamson, if he wants to sign an autograph and get some money, then yeah, let him get his money. I mean, that makes
right,
all the sense in the world. But to think that a college kid, Division I kids on any campus, who they are. I mean, they kind of walk with a different kind of swag. You give them a couple $100,000 on a college campus with other young people, there's going to be some questionable decisions being made.
Some shenanigans, for real.
Sure, well, there's some shenanigans for free. So that
part.
Yeah,
it's a slippery slope.
Well, hey man, time flies when you're having fun. I always say that. We're coming to the last part of the show where we like to call it the assist, where you get to drop some coaching gems. So as a coach, man, give me your best coaching mantra or something you would tell your younger self, but just give us little words of wisdom.
Sure. When I was a head coach at Southern Elements High School, they didn't have a great winning tradition. I think it was like one winning season in the last 25 years or something crazy like that. So our mantra was pound the rock, and I got that from really Greg Popovich, and I'm sure he got it from some great philosopher. But pound the rock was a mantra about a stone cutter who's hitting the rock, and then on one of those blows, and you can change the number, I guess, the rock finally cracked. And I think the quote, something, I'm not going to quote it, but it goes something along the lines where he knew it wasn't the necessarily the one crack that did it, but it was all the cracks before that finally split the rock. And I'm kind of a living testimony to just kind of pounding the rock and staying the course on your goals and your dreams. Things get rocky, you know what I mean? And there's going to be some hurdles that you're going to have to jump. You're going to get knocked on your butt. You're going to have to get back up. Your plans are not going to go the way you want it to go. And that's just reality, man. We all have visions and things that we want to happen. And very, very rarely is success linear. There's always going to be some kind of hurdle or obstacle to get through. But you got to pound the rock.
I love it.
Pound the rock, and you never know when that rock is going to split. And the worst thing is when that rock splits and you're not prepared for anything because you're moping or whatever. So it's just important to stay the course. Stay the course. Pound the rock. Don't give up on your dreams. Your journey is your journey. And again, just kind of keep on keeping on.
There it is.
Nice. That was our mantra in college too. Northern Colorado football. We pounded the hell out that rock, but it never cracked. So they still pounding. They still
pounding the rock over there.
You guys needed a bigger hammer or
dynamite,
something, right? Y'all needed something else. Well, hey, I hope you enjoyed this show, man. Hey, Josh, thank you so much for jumping on, man. Really appreciate you, and thank you to listeners for listening. Once again, hope you enjoyed the show. Please give us feedback. Let us know, what you want to hear. Reach out, jump on the show. We are Black in Sports on all your social media platforms. If you catch us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. And then don't forget, we drop the Locker Rooms, which are short format shows every Tuesday. And you can find that on all your podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, you name it. And just please stay safe, practice gratitude, Wakanda forever, and know we're rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap.